In today's video, traders, we're going to talk about the currency market and look for potential trade setups as well as areas of interest, support and demand zones, all sorts of other stuff like that. So let's go ahead and jump into the markets here. Let's start out with Euro USD. Looking here at the 4-hour chart, you can still see that we are holding this bullish trend line that we mentioned previously very nicely, still moving to the upside on Euro USD. Now, if we also point out on the daily chart really quick, you can see that we have broken structure here, as we had mentioned. Price broke through, and now we are seeing some continued push to the upside on euro dollar for the time being. Now, there are some levels to consider for potential shorts if you are interested in shorting. There might be a zone here that you could find some sort of resistance in going forward as price does start to look a little bit more stretched to the upside. GBPUSD is our next one, and you can see that this pair is still rocketing higher. We're still making a push to the upside, still holding that high movement up here at the 1.2885 zone. Very, very nice bullish momentum. And one thing I also wanted to mention is if I put on my 200-day moving average, you can see that we have clearly broken through, and now we are confirmed above that 200-day moving average. What that often means for investors is that traders have pushed price up past that zone, and that from here we may see some bullish continuation, as the 200-day is often used as a moving average to determine kind of the overall longer term direction of the market. Dollar yen is going to be our next one here. You can see teetering at the top here. It seems that we have broken through this triple top zone, right? You can see price did form a potential triple top there and then blasted through as dollar yen broke through the highs. Now pulling back though, and we might see some opportunities on a pullback to this zone. That might be something that you could play on the shorter term time frames, as well as a swing trade opportunity as well. If we also draw this trend line here, you can see that we do kind of have a nice trend line there. It is a pretty steep one though, and at some point, if it breaks, there might be some opportunity to the sell side. Brent crude is going to be our next one here. You can see it drifting to the high side there. We're starting to move up here off of this recent structure low that we pointed out in a previous market update. We talked about the Brent crude oil finding some support down in these zones down here, and now finding some continuation. We have some minor levels of resistance that likely, if you are a bull, you want to be seen or broken, right? This zone here is one of them. You can see it's kind of a multiple top along the way here, and really if price can get through that area, your next kind of level of support or resistance is going to be this area here. So these are some zones to look out for on Brent crude. WTI crude, we do have this zone here coming into contact pretty soon, it seems like. If price can make a little bit juke of a higher move here, we might see price come into this zone and find potential resistance. Let's see if we have any sort of fibs that might line up from this longer term move. You can see that 38.2 is not up until this area here. So you might actually have some sort of a zone to play around with in potential shorts if you would have an interest in shorting oil. XAU USD, this is gold, guys, and you can see that the downtrend here is continuing for the time being. You can see if we draw this line here, gold has been making a move lower and then now finding resistance at this triple retouch of on this trend line, right? So we're seeing some sell off from there. Really what we're looking for if you're a seller is to see price break through these structure lows from here. If we see a breakdown through there, that might be a continuation sign of the trend to the downside. But for the most part, we're still holding this zone as a supportive level, something to consider both on the lower time frames as well as the swing trading time frames. Dollar Canadian is our next one, which has sold off significantly. You can see price, however, still holding this area here. We've been halted around this area for some time, looking to see if we can get some sort of a bounce off of this zone. Should be interesting. I think that, you know, this zone overall, the market here on dollar Canadian has been relatively sideways and relatively choppy. So we've seen a back and forth market, and it wouldn't be out of the question if we got some further bounce on dollar Canadian from here, at least in my opinion. GBPCAD is going to be our next one, which you can see pound Canadian making a move to the upside as well. And if we draw a fib on this, we could look for some potential levels of interest. Now you can see price is coming into that 61.8 and for the time being holding it. We also kind of have a shelf to the left here, you can see, which might come into play here as a point of reversal short term for this pound Canadian move. Just something to consider there, guys. As always, make sure it fits your own plan and take your own trades. This has been Nick with the market update for today. Thanks very much, and we'll catch you next time.